babes, I just realized that my running vest actually looks like I have like nothing underneath it. I promise you, your girl does. But got on our little Nikes, Lululemon. My vest is, I think it's, what's it called? Five Friends. I got it off of Amazon. It came with like this cute little water pouch. We are gonna go hike the mountain. But the last time I hiked, I ended up getting lost and almost attacked by a cougar. Story time. Full disclosure, it wasn't a cougar. Or was it? The fin. Let's go. Guys, I was gonna leave, but then like, if you can see it, my Amazon packages got here and I'm like, no. The social anxiety. We are gonna wait for that man to leave. Okay, he's gone. Let's go. Also, are you even a YouTuber if you don't have your mic and tripod to go on a hike? Okay, so the game plan for today is to make it to the top of that mountain. Like we're going right there. Okay, so story time. About a week or so ago, it was like 5 o'clock. It was light out, like it was completely light out. And I decided I wanted to go and hike this mountain that is basically like right behind my house. Like it's not far. Like it's not far from my house. It's a big mountain, but it's not far. So I wanted to watch the sunset from the top of that mountain. Like here in Arizona, we have some beautiful sunsets. And your girl wanted to see those sunsets at the top of that hill. And did I see that sunset? Yes, I did. Did I also get lost and had to call for help? Yes, I did. But we're going to start the story from the beginning. Here we are at the start of the trail. Now, one thing I didn't know that night is that there's like a trail that starts over there. And there's a trail that starts right there. And then there's also a trail that starts over there. But your girl only knew there was one trail. That's where the first problem started. So I'm going to take the same trail I did that night just for the story's purpose. So we are starting down here, and by the end of our adventure, we will be right there. Full disclaimer, I did not have a pack. I had no water, nothing, and my phone was on 10%. That is not how you walk in Arizona, by the way. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so I start the trail at about, oh dear God. Wait a second. What trail did I even take? I think I took this one. All right, we're about to film how I got lost on the same trail twice. Jesus, twice. Okay, so I started this trail about a week ago. It was about 5 o'clock at night, and I told myself, like, I just want to hike to the top of this mountain. It's going to make me feel accomplished. So we're walking up the trail. You know, I didn't really think about my battery being that low, or honestly the fact that I had no water. All I honestly cared about was the views from the top, which, stunning, by the way, stunning. Plus, as I'm going up the trail, I'm honestly still thinking there is only one trail. So there's only one way up and one way down. And mind you, it's a pretty steep, rocky trail, even in the daylight. But your girl is fit. Like, I'm fit, so this should be no problem. Wrong. So me and my sweet little dumb, naive mind just keep walking up the hill in efforts to get to the very, very top. And after about 15 minutes, almost exactly, we make it to about the halfway mark. Mind you, at the time, it's still completely light out. It's about 5:15, 5:20. And at this point, we're already a good distance from where we started, all the way down there. Now we're all the way up here. So at this point in the hike, your girl decides she's going to go and take some cute little like yoga pose inspired photos for the gram, you know, for the gram. What else? Of course, then it is time to continue on our hike all the way to the top. Now, it was about at this point I did notice that the trail starts getting a lot steeper and just a lot more rocky. But Mama didn't raise a quitter. So we just kept on climbing. But honestly, like, it still didn't seem like dangerous. Even at this point, you know, like, it's a little rocky, it's a little steep. It's about 5:30. The sun is starting to get pink, and I'm just loving every minute of it. I honestly had not a thought in my mind that I was going to get lost 20 minutes after that in the dark and be chased by a wild animal, aka the cougar. And then we just continue on our lovely little way. And by this time, we are like way off to the side of where we even started, which I wasn't realizing. Like, it wasn't even like a straight up hill. It like snakes like an S all over the place. Now, I had no water, like no water at that time. This time, I literally ordered this hiking vest for this video because your girl needed water. I'll put a little Amazon link to the vest because it is a really great vest. I'm like, it is a really great vest. It's got a water bottle. It's got little pockets. It's got a little chapstick holder. Literally everything you need in case you get lost on a hike. Now, what I'm realizing, I don't even know what hill I took up that night. I feel like when I was like lost, I took this hill coming down, which would have been wrong. I should have taken this trail, but it was dark. So like, I was running down the hill from an animal, and I think I took this hill, which just like leads you around, instead of taking this hill, which leads you back down to like the street way over there. But for documentary purposes, we're just going to take a hill. Now we are almost at the top. Like that's the top. That's where we're going. But mind you, at the time, it was like sunset. All of this was like beautiful pink. And I just wanted to take in the view. So we took a moment and we stopped and we like looked all around the beautiful Arizona sky that looks like it's about to downpour on me today. Even with all my random selfies and everything, we've still only been walking for about 30 minutes. Like, we've got our heart rate up. So it's probably 5:45 at this point. And this time of the year in Arizona, 5:45 is like almost a little dusky. The sun is going down. But your girl is fully in her content creating mindset, and we are just trekking up the hill without really noticing that it's getting dark. I mean, we're not thinking about like the things that can get us in the dark. We're just thinking about how gorgeous that view is going to be. Mind you, this is where we started. And this is where we are now. But gosh forbid that we stop, because we are literally almost at the top. So we just keep going. And then we made it to the top of the mountain, and we just stared over the horizon, taking in the breathtaking views of the sunset in the Arizona sky. We had made it all the way from the bottom to the top. So about this time, I'm going to say it's about 6 o'clock. Yeah. And it took us about 40 minutes. I was overlooking everything that Arizona had to offer from this view, which honestly is actually breathtaking. But at about this time, I noticed that the sun was going under those hills, which it started to dawn on me meant it was going to get dark soon. So with our phone at about 8 or 9%, I knew that I needed to start heading back down. Okay, so I know what you're thinking. Like, girl, get to the part where you get lost and something is chasing you. Well, it was probably at about this point that I think I took this trail, which would have been the wrong trail, because I came up this trail and where we needed to be is all the way back down here. But it was kind of dim lit, so I started heading out this way, which is about 2 miles from my house, actually, even though it looks fairly close. But there's a whole mountain that separates from being there to being there. So I'm just casually walking down the hill. I knew that my husband was supposed to be off about 15 minutes ago that day. So it would have been about 6 o'clock. And he has about a 30-minute drive home. So I figured I would be meeting him. Once again, it's dark. I don't know what path I took coming up and what path I took going down. So your girl just kind of eeny, meeny, miny, moes it. Whew. And it's a little slippery. And it's also dark. But still not thinking I'm really in any like immediate danger. I just keep going down the hill, trying to get back to where we started, which is probably, I don't know, 1.5 miles down. Not that far, honestly, for someone, who does pretty long, distant hikes. But once again, it's dark. And there are things that will cut you. A lot of things, actually. Arizona is very known for things that'll eat you or cut you or pinch you or poison you. It's kind of our thing. So I turn on the flashlight on my phone, which is already, just about dead. But my flashlight can only see maybe a foot or so ahead of me. So things like this start looking like a trail when it should be this. So your girl just casually steps off the trail. And by casually, I mean I literally fell on my ass. And it was at this moment I realized, you're not on the trail, boo. So there I am. I've fallen. And I can't get up. No, I'm joking. I could totally get up. I have fallen. And I'm starting to look around with my flashlight. And at this point, I'm starting to panic because I'm like, oh my gosh, it's dark. My phone's almost dead. I don't know where my trail is. So I pick myself up and I call my husband, who is almost home at this point because it's been about 30 minutes. And I tell him, oh my God, baby, I'm lost and it's dark. To which he asked me, baby, why did you go out walking when you knew it was going to be dark? Well, for the gram, obviously. Haha. Okay, no, it was actually because I did want to watch the sunset from up on the hill, and I just thought it would be like majestically beautiful. I am literally just a girl. But then, in my moment of panic, I look around because I hear something. Rocks are rustling. I'm looking around frantically. My flashlight is on. What is making the noises? I hear more movement. Oh my God, baby, something's coming after me. I know, dramatic. I start to run because, oh my gosh, it's dark. And what am I hearing? Am I even on the right trail? Am I going the right way? And oh my gosh, what is following me? So I stop, still on the phone with my husband, crying at this point, hurled up because something's going to eat me and I'm just tired and I don't want to walk the rest of the way down. So I tell my husband, baby, you have to come and find me. And at this point, I'm looking around and I can't even see the street. Mind you, probably because I was listening to YouTubes on my way up and I wasn't looking at the trail, realizing that it was an S formation and that it wasn't a straight up and down spot. So I have my flashlight on and I'm shining it all around. I'm looking all around because, oh my gosh, I know something's following me. I can hear it. Petrified by fear, still, literally just fear. But I get up. But oh no, it seems like every direction I'm going in, there is literally a trail that goes both ways. And I have no idea which way to go. So I'm running again. But the noises, oh my gosh, the noises. I hear them. And what do I assume it is? A cougar. So I'm running faster. And I'm on the phone with my husband. Baby, there's a cougar and it's chasing me. I can hear it. Him at this point has gone and picked up my son. And they are down at the bottom of the hill, flashlights on, looking for me. I can't see their flashlights though. I tell him, I can't see you. And I don't know if I'm going the right way or not. But I'm still running. It's been almost an hour at this point, and my heart rate is through the roof. At this point, I am emotionally, physically, mentally exhausted, and I cannot run anymore. So I stop and probably cry, by the way, probably crying. And I'm telling my husband, baby, I'm lost. I don't know where you are. I can't see you. There's something chasing me. So I stop again. I sit down. I'm on the phone. My phone's at 5%. I'm telling him, baby, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Oh my gosh, what is that? I hear a noise. I turn around. I shine my flashlight. And guess what? It's a freaking cougar. No, guys. It was a deer. It was a deer. So I stand back up. And I start walking again. Mind you, I screamed bloody murder. All of my neighbors probably thought, from down the hill that someone was dying. But it was a big deer. I didn't even know we had deer in Arizona. I'm not from here. But my phone's at 4%. So I'm telling my husband, oh my God, baby, it was a deer. It wasn't a cougar. It was just a deer. So at least I wasn't, completely terrified. So I pick myself up and I keep walking. At about that moment, I start to recognize some of the rocks, which reassures me that I'm going in the right spot. But then I look over and I can see my husband and my son on the opposite side of the hill because they also have their flashlights on. So I tell them, guys, you are on the opposite side of the hill of me. Turn around and head back towards the car. Now, mind you, I didn't even know there was other trails. This was my first time hiking it at that point. So I was like, how did you guys even get over there? And then my husband straight tells me, I didn't go up a trail. I just started hiking up the mountain. I'm like, but I told you to take a trail. He couldn't see the trail. So he just started hiking up the mountain to look for me. Such a sweet man. But now we are both basically lost because he has no idea, honestly, which way he ran up the hill because he just kind of started in like a dead run thinking that the hill went straight up, which it does not. It kind of goes up and then up and then up to the side, not straight down. So they were over there, like by this cactus. They were over there. And I was over here. But at least at this point, I no longer am thinking that there's a cougar chasing me. It's a deer. And I'm starting to recognize, AKA the spot where I did cute Instagram yoga. But even though I was recognizing areas, I was still probably 20 minutes from the bottom of the hill where we needed to be, AKA right there. And they were somewhere over there in the bush. And I told them, my husband and my son being them, I told them, I am going to turn off my flashlight because my phone is almost dead. And I'm just going to follow this trail down and hope that it leads to the road But if my phone dies, I will just start screaming and listening for them to scream back. As you can see, though, it's a little bumpy. And your girl is exhausted. She thought she was going to be eaten. She feels like an idiot. No water. Hadn't gone to the bathroom. Like, it's just, yeah, all around not a good situation. But then I stop and I look up and I can see the lights of the road, and they're parked right about, I don't know, like there, right about there. And I can see the headlights of the car. Literal tears of joy running down my face. At this point, I had been out in the wilderness in the dark for a good 30 minutes, and I had been walking for an hour, / running / trying not to get eaten by Arizona's Jurassic Park animals. So your girl was tired. And then my phone died. Guys, also side note from the story, I just realized that somehow I still ended up coming down a completely different path than I came up, because I started on the path that's over there and I don't recognize like any of this. So oopsie, literally got lost a second time. Back to the story though. Phone died. So I'm like, baby! Dramatic. And he's like, baby! Like, I can hear him. So not too bad. And I look over and they're probably only 15, 20, 30 feet in the opposite direction. I can see their flashlight. At this point, I know that I am safe. I have found my husband. My husband has found me. I turn around. I see that I made it all the way from up there, back down to safety. I'm running. And I see the road just feet ahead of me, my car waiting, and I'm safe. And that's the story, how I almost got lost on a hill and got chased by a mountain lion that was actually a deer.